Yo, what's up guys, it's Philly Bo, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Scuf controller by Scuf Gaming. Now before we get into this review, I'm not endorsed or sponsored, they're not paying me to tell you any of this stuff, I'm doing an honest review. They were just nice enough to send it out to me to do a review. So let's get right into this, and so I don't keep rambling on. But right here, this is the Scuf FPS Elite controller. It's the gray one, and I chose to have all the blacked out buttons, and you know, it just looks really sick that way. That's the cool thing about Scuf, is that you can have them black out all the buttons. You can make all the buttons red, green, yellow, whatever you want to do. But one of the things that they do is they put the dome stick on the right stick. You don't have to do that, but that's one of their things they kind of do by default. It's one of the things they're known for. I have both of them, the dome stick, just because that's the way I like it. That's just the way, that's just what feels good to me. And one of the reasons that the dome stick is better for first-person shooters, a lot of people will tell you that it is because the dome stick sits higher. It has a longer base right here, so what that does is it gives you more leverage and all that good stuff. You can aim better, you can make more precise movements and all that good stuff. So if you play on higher sensitivities, it's really good. I play like on a 4 to 5 to maybe even a 6 sensitivity, so it still works for me very well. But if you play on a 2 or a 3, it's probably not going to help you out that much. But yeah, that's one thing that they do. You can pick whatever ones you want. You know, you don't have to have these. You can have, you know, an Xbox stick here and a dome stick here, or a dome stick here and an Xbox 360 stick here. Whatever you want to do. You get the point. But on to the core features of this. On the back here, right here, you can see these little metal screws in the triggers, and what those are called, they're called trigger stops. And what they do is they make it to where you don't have to push the trigger all the way down, which is pretty unnecessary when it comes to Call of Duty. You don't have to press it all the way down, because on a regular Xbox controller right here, the action to shoot is about right there. It's not very far down, and then naturally you're just going to press it all the way down. That's just what most people do. And what these do is you can adjust them to where they're maybe right above where the action is. You take this Scuf key right here, and you can see these little inserts, and you put the Scuf key in there, if I can get that in there. Yeah, and then whenever you twist it to the right, you can see that the trigger is depressing, and you don't want it that far because it's just going to make you shoot constantly. But when you turn it to the left, it brings it up. So basically, I haven't adjusted this controller right now, but what you want to do is you want to adjust it to where it's right above where the action starts. So say the action starts about right there. I have it set perfectly right now. This is just going off, you know, this isn't official. I haven't adjusted this, but say that's what it is. Say the action starts right here. I've got it set perfectly. And what these do is they make it to where single fire shots like the SMR or the FAL on Black Ops 2, it makes it to where those single fire shots can be shot a lot faster, and you're not having to press the trigger all the way down. And you know, it's got a very good response to it. It's not as bouncy as the regular trigger and all that good stuff. It's just it's to the point. It bounces right back up. You don't have to, you know, press it all the way down. But the other thing too, on the back here, these are mappable buttons, and these paddles right here aren't the actual buttons. The buttons are underneath the paddles, and these paddles are just here to, you know, because whenever you hold an Xbox controller, most people they have their fingers resting right where those paddles are. But what these do is they're mapped out to buttons on the front of the controller. My left one is mapped out to A, and my right one is mapped out to B. You can map those to whatever you want. You don't have to map them out to A and B, but you know, especially for Call of Duty, I would recommend that. But I would map them out to A and B, but my left one is A, my right one is B, so therefore I can jump with the back paddle without having to take my thumb off the stick. And everyone knows that this is pretty much the most important part of the controller when it comes to first-person shooters, because you have to aim at all times. But this makes it to where you can you don't have to play claw. And if you don't know what claw is, it's basically where you have your index finger, instead of being on the trigger, it's up here, and it's uncomfortable. You press buttons so you don't have to take your thumb off the stick. But this allows you to play claw without playing claw. And the right stick, the right paddle on the back is mapped to be, so it's knife for me. I can go in between whatever I want it to be. I can make it prone too, because I can just switch it to tactical or default, and because on default B is prone and on tactical B is knife. So I have mine set to knife, and you can do whatever you want. But these feel really good. The only gripe that I have is there's a pretty big learning curve on them, because one thing, if you see right here, about right there, a third of the way down is where they'll actually press the button, and I've found myself kind of clicking them on accident, and I would jump randomly in a game, because sometimes your hands are going to twitch because you're trying to react to something, and that's the only downside to it. But once you play with the controller and you get used to it, you're going to find yourself doing it less and less and less, and then you're going to find yourself to where you can actually control what you're doing. So yeah, that's one of the big downsides. There's a pretty big learning curve to this controller, but these back paddles make it to where you don't have to take your thumb off the stick. You can keep it on at all times. The other big feature about this controller is that on the back here you can probably see this texture. It's called Scuf grip. And what that does is, if say your hands are you're hot, your hands are getting sweaty, it makes it to where you're not going to be slipping all over the controller, just kind of like the old the regular Xbox controller. It's a glossy finish, and you're slipping all over the place. It's uncomfortable after that. But this helps you kind of the sweat. It doesn't make you slip as much, and it just feels better. You have a better grip on the controller. And if you're going to invest in a Scuf controller, I would highly recommend the Scuf grip. Just spend the extra money and get the Scuf grip, because it's totally worth it. That's what I would do. And yeah, those are the biggest features about the controller. Other than that, the rest of it is pretty much cosmetic. The only thing, like I said, you can't do is you can't do custom graphic designs, but you can. This is one cool feature I did. I made the LEDs white instead of green, and I thought that was really cool with like the black and the gray. It just kind of all neutral colors and stuff like that. But yeah, it goes really well together, and I would highly recommend this product, guys. If you play a lot of first-person shooters, especially Call of Duty, this controller, I give it 2 thumbs up. And yeah, go to scufgaming.com, and if you're wanting to pick up a controller, go there. They have all kinds of customizable options, and I appreciate Scuf Gaming for sending this controller out to me. So if you're wondering if you should get this controller, well, that just depends on how much you play, and if you like first-person shooters. So if you like first-person shooters and that's all that you play pretty much, I would highly recommend investing into this controller. So thanks guys for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.